Hello, Internet. It is Zod Malik Aaron. Welcome back to the channel. Part 4. The hits just keep on coming. At this point, I think it's safe to say that 2020 will be the worst year in cinematic history because there's going to be no more movies coming out in 2020 at the rate we're going. It's crazy. It's just unbelievable. And just like the last video, we're talking about a single studio. Last time we talked about Warner Brothers. This time we're talking about Sony. Because Sony has announced today that several of their movies that were supposed to come out in this summer have officially been delayed. Majority of them have been moved to 2021. So now movies like Morbius and Ghostbusters Afterlife join the alarmingly large club of movies that have been delayed as a result of the pandemic. And it's just like if you were to tell someone like 6 months ago that the majority of 2020 movies would not see the light of day, they would laugh in your face. They would never believe you. But it's happening. It's crazy. I've never seen this before in my life. Like, this is some first time stuff. Just like a mass exodus of movies being pushed off the 2020 calendar. It's insane. So yeah, we're going to go through this deadline article. It might appear that Sony just gutted their 2020 schedule. WTF just happened? Did the studio suddenly abandon all hope in its slate? That's hardly the case. It's just insurance for the future. And yes, by and large, all the schedule changes that occurred tonight were in response to the current coronavirus climate. Well, obviously. What do you think's been happening the past few weeks? With various media reports saying that the U.S. hasn't peaked yet in regards to the number of COVID-19 cases, no one knows exactly when cinemas are coming back, nor do we know when feature production will presume. At this point, just cancel every last 2020 movie because, just cancel the rest of the year because I feel like that's going to happen anyway. It'd be the first time ever that would happen. So I'm living through history. Like, this is history in the making. And I'm living through it. So that's that's just dandy. So yeah, they say like quarter one and quarter two 2021 will be in dire need of movies given their production delay. Yada yada yada. Yeah, Uncharted. Poor Uncharted. That movie just refuses to get made. Like, they've had director after director after director all drop out. And just as they were about to film, the pandemic happened. Like, that movie is cursed. It is cursed. There's no denying it. So yeah, they say like the first movie that'll come back supposedly will be SpongeBob movie, Sponge on the Run. I know there's zero chance of that happening. You can forget about it. Like, no. So yeah, they talk about what's left on the 2020 schedule for Sony. They got Monster Hunter. No. Just no. Anyone who thinks that movie's going to be good, lose your hope now because Paul W.S. Anderson and Mila Jovovich are in it. Paul W.S. Anderson. He made those awful Resident Evil movies. The Resident Evil movies that were more like fan fiction than adaptations. Yeah, he's doing Monster Hunter. So, yeah, I would avoid that at all costs. Connected, that movie actually looks pretty interesting. I might watch it because it's from Phil Lord and Chris Miller. I love those guys. There's like Fatherhood, Greyhound. That was from Tom Hanks. That was supposed to come out June 12th. It's not coming out now. It's currently now in the air. There's also Venom 2, which is supposed to come out October 2nd. I don't think that's going to be touched unless every movie just gets delayed one after the other. So let's get to the movies that have officially been delayed, the big ones. Peter Rabbit 2. So that was supposed to come out in April, right? Because, April, Easter, rabbits, it would have been perfect. But COVID-19 said nope. And so Sony decided to push it back to August. But now, that August date isn't good enough anymore. They, they talk about Peter Rabbit 2, Morbius, yada, 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 Ghostbusters Afterlife. Where, trying to look for the dates. Where is it? Trying to find it. I think it's supposed to come out in January, I think. Yeah, January. It's coming out. Peter Rabbit 2 is going to be coming out in January 2021. I forgot what it is. It doesn't say what date. I think it's the 15th of January. Let me check. I have a laptop in the background if you didn't know. Peter Rabbit 2. Yes, January 15th, MLK weekend. So it's going to be facing off against Mortal Kombat, which, would be... That's an interesting battle. I don't think the two movies are going to hurt each other very much. So Peter Rabbit 2, honestly, I don't care much about it, but I do remember everyone being like, no, this is so tragic. Peter Rabbit 2 did not deserve this. So, I think Peter Rabbit 2 will be fine at the end of the day. Morbius. That was supposed to come out July 31st. Now, keep in mind, I know nothing about the character of Morbius. I know he's a Spider-Man character. He's a vampire, I think. I know he was in the the 90s Spider-Man cartoon where they censored him. You can't have a vampire drinking people's blood. So they used, he just sucks the energy out of them with his hands. It was stupid. But, the trailer for Morbius came out, and I thought it looked interesting. I was like, this could be something. And this could be Jared Leto's redemption after what happened with Joker and Suicide Squad. Let's not talk about that. So instead of July 31st, it's going to be coming out March 19th. Which is interesting. I mean, March, it's a good date, for event or movies that try to be events. There have been plenty of March movies in the past that have done amazing business. Beauty and the Beast 2017, Captain Marvel, Batman v Superman, Hunger Games, Alice in Wonderland, 300, just to name a few. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting seeing what happens with that. But it also just makes, the trailers for all these movies, they all had trailers, when they thought they were going to come out at their original release dates, but now it's going to be so weird, and they're all going to have to restart their advertisements, which is going to, put more money on their advertising budgets, which it's going to cost a lot more money, and it's just bad. It's bad. All right, the next big one, Ghostbusters Afterlife, was supposed to come out July 10th. July 10th. July was going to be pretty loaded when it comes to the movies. You were supposed to have Minions 2, Free Guy, Ghostbusters Afterlife, Tenet, Jungle Cruise, Morbius. It was going to be loaded. But not anymore. Because it's coming out March 5th, 2021. Which, a Ghostbusters movie in March, that doesn't sound right. Because Ghostbusters has always been a summer movie. So to push it out of summer is very unnatural. But, this whole pandemic has made everything crazy. Nothing's normal anymore. So, yeah. I mean, again, March is a decent time to release a movie. It's not like a death month, September or January. So, it could still do okay. As long as they do a good job. As long as the movie's good and they don't pull a Ghostbusters 2016 again. Okay? As long as they avoid that, they should be fine. And then finally, Uncharted. Poor Uncharted. Based off the video game series from Sony. So, that series has been incredibly successful. It's gone on for like over a decade, so it would make sense to make a movie out of it. I mean, it's prime for a movie, and it was supposed to have like Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg in it. I mean, Tom Holland, as Nathan Drake, I think he's a little too young to be Nathan Drake. To be honest, he just doesn't look the part. Maybe he will. Maybe he'll surprise us all. But instead of coming out in March, it's going to be in October 2021. Like, well over a year from now. A year and a half. Apparently, it provides more than enough time for completion. Because the movie, its production is paused because of this. A lot of movies' productions are paused because of the pandemic. Like, some of the most anticipated movies of next year, like The Batman, for instance, had to pause its production for at least 2 weeks. That's what I've heard. So, yeah. But unlike, a lot of movies, at least a decent amount of these movies have new release dates, which is something you can't say about, a bunch of the Disney movies. And I've been hearing that Disney is actually they're really thinking about putting Mulan and Black Widow on Disney Plus, or at least on VOD, because they're losing money. They're bleeding money very badly because, Disneyland, Disney parks, which was a nice bit of, generating a lot of revenue for them, they're closed indefinitely. So, you can't get any money from them. This whole thing's a mess. It's an absolute mess. So, yeah. So what do you think about these delays? Do you think they're, for the best? Do you think they are, this was a wise move from Sony? I mean, most people probably say yes because, I mean, how do I say this? Because it's going to take a long time, I feel, for people to become comfortable, with going to the movies again. Like, it's not just going to be like as soon as, health officials say, oh, everyone can go outside now, they're all going to immediately flood the movie theater. No, that's not going to happen. It's going to take months for everything to get back to normal. So, yeah. Again, at this point, I would just cancel the rest of 2020. It just would not be worth it. Because a lot of movies' box office is going to suffer. The year's screwed, box office-wise. It's screwed. There is no hope. So I'd just cancel the whole year. So, yeah. That's it. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, share the video, turn on notifications. I will more than likely make a part 5 as when the news drops. When I hear more delays, I will make a part 5. So, yeah, that's it. That's all. I am out.